Hey guys, how's it going? Previously on the channel we had a Kohler K301 engine I had rebuilt for the patio. What was done to it was I had a shop bore it for me. I pulled it apart, then I had them bore it. I also had them do the valves for me. Then they brought it back and I did the rest. All the gaskets, and I timed it and I put everything else in there. I didn't do the cam, but they did the cam. I put the crank in it and everything like that. I did the piston. Had to dig around for a rod because the rod that I had put in it, the brand new rod, was not going to work with it. So I had to dig around for the old rod, and I found the old rod and I stuck the old rod back in it because the rod that we had put in was, one of them was too big and the other one wouldn't go all the way around the crank and it would seize up if you tightened it. So that's kind of where we got on it. We ended up getting it running. I am probably going to end up having to do some carburetor work on it. So I was in the engine getting running spirit and this little guy came along. It's an 8-horse Brigs. It came off of a log splitter. Story that I was told behind it. The same buddy of mine that bored that engine for me gave me this. It was given to him to fix. Story behind it is, it was on a log splitter. A lady had it, and she was doing some log splitting with it. I think her husband was. And while they were doing it, one of the screws in one of the butterflies in the carburetor, I have not had this apart, so I really can't tell you much. The guy that had it before me did pull it apart. This is the piston right here. I'm not going to show you the damage until later. I have not opened the engine though. It is as I got it. As you see it, the piston was pulled out. Anyway. One of the butterfly screws, I'm starting to think it was the choke butterfly screw that let loose, went up in, held the engine open, revving it up all the way, and it went up into the engine and found its way into the combustion chamber. And supposedly the piston and the head high-fived. When I say high-fived, I mean the screw high-fived them, as in it got crushed in between the two, and then the piston went back down. It's in, I think it got stuck in the head, and then from the engine being so hot from running away, the screw melted into the head and it also melted into the piston, so the motor was seized. You couldn't turn it. And so she took it to him to have him look at it. He had to pry the head off of it. I'm not quite sure what all he had to do. I think he actually just took the piston out and got the piston off of it. But that's all I know about it. And he was looking at it. They don't sell this carburetor anymore, according to him. This is the one-piece Briggs & Stratton carburetor, like what I had on the Craftsman. I had videos on that Craftsman, but I think one of the videos I filmed of it must have got deleted or something because I couldn't find it. I was looking to see what all I did to it. But it's just a one-piece carburetor. Right here's where the filter hooks up to it, and then it goes to the bowl, then into the engine. I don't know if I'm going to get this engine running or not. I doubt it. It would be cool though just to try to get it running. I wouldn't mind somehow rigging up. I think the Tecumsehs are the exact same as the Brigs, all except for just the name and maybe a few other things. I was thinking, this is a Briggs, Tecumseh, about putting one of these Tecumseh carburetors, somehow getting one of these carburetors to mount to that engine and getting it to hook up. Probably put one of these, something like this on it, and then have another plate that tilts this way, have it bolt into the engine like that. So then I could put a carburetor on it. I'd have to find an air filter of some type and put the air filter on it and maybe get this thing running. I don't know. It's not too terrible to the point where it won't run. It didn't score it or anything. I haven't looked inside of it, like I said. Everything is put back together finger tight though, so it should come apart pretty easy. So I guess let's go on ahead and we will take a look at this guy and see what we've got in store. But that's about as much as I know about it. I really don't know too terribly much about this engine. I don't know if it was abused or how it was run before, but I guess we're gonna find out. Let me put you guys in the stand. I will clean off a spot on my table and we will get into it. Went ahead and I popped you guys in the stand. Let's take a look at this thing and see what happened. I do have the head gasket for it. The head gasket's not on the engine, it's sitting over there. I was also told there's a bent valve. I'm not sure how bent it is or where. I'm not trying to get this thing running or anything, so I don't really care if anything goes wrong, so we'll have a little bit of fun. I'm not really trying to get it running, but I figured we could have a little bit of fun with it. Just kind of see what went wrong on it and just find out what exactly, where it quit or what happened to it and why it quit. I wouldn't mind though finding a way to get into that carburetor and seeing if we can fix it. If we could fix that carburetor and decide what's going on with this engine, maybe, I don't know, maybe we could get it running. I was told there's a bent valve, so again, I'm not sure what to expect there. I don't know if the stem of the valve is bent or the top of the valve is bent. And I don't know how the valve got bent. So your guess is as good as mine, I guess. I was almost wondering if the screw tried to escape and it ended up bending the valve, or the butterfly got in. The butterfly from the throttle or choke got in and it tried going out, and that's what bent it. I have not investigated the muffler, but if I was to shake that muffler around, I almost wonder if I'd hear something in there. If one of the butterflies is gone, we'll have an idea where it went. I do not see, that looks like, no. I do not see a spark plug boot anywhere, so I wonder if the magneto was robbed off of it. If it was, that sucks. If it still had the magneto, I was going to say we could see about getting it running, see if it has spark. But this doesn't have points on it, so we can't do... Does it have points? I don't know, I'd have to look. I don't see a spark plug boot though, or a coil pack. So even if it does have points, we won't be able to get it running. Unless we were to find a coil pack, which... I'm not going to put any money into this engine, but if I can find one, then maybe I will. If it's on here still, maybe we'll try to get it running. If it's not, then forget it. We'll just look at it and see what failed. But from what I was told, it's not too terribly bad. It could still run. I mean, I didn't pay anything for it, so I'm not really losing anything if it ends up not running. It was just kind of... It was donated. I'm going to say it was donated as a video idea. Something to make a video on and give my opinion, so that's what I'm going to do. If that comes out, I was worried that was bolted right here, holding that on. The head don't look cracked or anything, so it looks like it's pretty full of shit. I may have to clean it up. You guys ready to see what it looks like under here? Oh, we got to take that bolt out. I'm gonna guess that's a 3/8. Never mind, it was 11 millimeter. And there is no piston in it, so the piston's sitting over there. I haven't shown you guys that yet. I'll show you that here in a bit. This is a vertical engine. It is not horizontal. I have it sitting horizontal because it's easier to get at. Oh, I see. It don't look terrible. I'd have to grab a flashlight. Right there you can see the top of the head. Right there is where the screw looks to have... well, maybe not. Where's the screw? There it is, right there. Well, no. Let me grab the piston real quick and we'll take a look at the piston. Right here's the piston. You can see right there is where the screw hit. I don't see any indents in the head from it. The head actually looks perfect. Oh, right there. There it is. Clean that up a little bit so you guys can see it. I didn't see it at first until I really looked at it. Maybe I had to wire wheel it. Right there it is. You guys can see the threads and the screw. I don't know where the screw is. It'd be really cool to have it actually. Then right there you can see, so the piston was in like that. Like that. It hit right there. It made that squeeze into here, and that's what held the engine seized. I don't know how we got it unstuck, but I had my guess at the beginning of the video, like I said. The board doesn't... oh, right there looks like a score, but it actually don't look terrible. Put that over here. I think we could get this guy running again. If the magneto wasn't robbed off of it, I think we could get it running again. Let me put something over this, that way you guys can see through it. You guys can see as well what I'm looking at. I don't know. You guys can't see. Can you? Oh, maybe you can. You can see right there. Right there's a little score. It looks like it's pretty scored up. I don't know if this engine will run again or not. I mean, you can look in there and judge for yourselves, but I'm so glad I found out I could put a napkin over that and make it so you guys could see. You can see right there. It looks like it's pretty scored. I can see cross thatching, it looks like. And right there. I don't think this engine had very many hours on it. Look, judging by what I see. You guys can see right there. It looks like it's got something too down on bottom. Right there's the cam gear. Let's see if the valves move. I haven't really messed with it all that much. Let's just see. Oh, there's a coil. Look at that. There's a coil there. Cool. Oh, there's a wire right there. It appears it is stuck on the flywheel though, so I don't think we're going to want to really turn it over too much. This valve's bent. I'm going to guess the stem is probably the problem. I almost wonder if we could take a hammer possibly and bend that. If we tap on it here, if we could bend it like we want, or if we're going to have to take this out and put it in the vise. Bend that stem. I have to take it out and look at it. My next question is, will it come out of that cylinder? If it's bent like that, we're going to have to pull this front cover off. anyways, to get this guy out from behind the... I almost wonder if it is points. I think it is. It sure looks like it's got points. It's hard to tell what this engine has. I don't know what year it is. Here's a tag. 29. 79. If I'm correct, that would make this a 79. So this engine is from the 70s. That's not right. Well, maybe it is. Model type code 79. So I guess it's a 1979. Huh. That seems a little bit older than I was expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting it to be any newer than 03. Or even newer, but I guess so. 1979. 79. 7902. Here's the code. 79020610. I think the first two numbers are the date. So that would make this a 79 Brigs 8-horse. I'm almost curious if this piston would fit in one of my 8-horse Kohlers. I actually really want to take it upstairs and look. Look at that. Right there you can see this piston don't look too terribly bad. Right there you can see a little bit of scoring. Well, I don't know if this engine's going to run again or not, but I wouldn't mind finding out. Let's run upstairs actually, because I'm really curious and I want to see if this piston would fit in one of my 8-horse Kohlers. We are upstairs. Here is one of my 8-horse Kohlers. I don't know how well you guys can see it. This is the piston from the Brigs. It's a little bit big. Huh. That surprises me. Let's try one of my Tecumsehs. I came over here to this Brigs, or this Tecumseh, and I almost wonder now. This is one of them plates I was talking about. Do you think we could turn this if we got it hot enough? Or if we could get it to mount like that? I don't know. We may have to play with it. Here's that Tecumseh. It's already got a piston in it, but we'll play this way. Yeah, it definitely fits inside that Tecumseh. Okay. It's surprising. Well, let's try it this way instead on this 8-horse and see if it'll fit in there that way. Because that seems interesting to me. No, it won't even fit that way. I didn't think it was that much bigger, but I guess so. I have a feeling this engine may have been bored over at some point. It doesn't say if it was or not, but it just seems a little bit interesting to me that this piston would be a little bit bigger than the 8-horse upstairs, the Kohler. Unless they had a different, unless it was a, I don't know, unless it may have been standard bore and this was bored over. That just seemed kind of weird to me, but I don't know, maybe Briggs board there is bigger. Not sure what I want to do with it just yet. I'm considering a couple of ideas. Does this separate from this elbow? It kind of looks like it might. No, maybe it doesn't. It kind of looked like it did. Wouldn't mind getting that carburetor off of there and taking a look at it. Find out what failed. At this point, we might as well just take it apart, find out what failed. That's probably a 3/8 nut. What do you guys think? Put a comment down below. I almost wonder if the screw tried to escape and it ended up bending the exhaust valve. I was thinking the intake valve would have been bent, but apparently the exhaust valve was bent. So I almost wonder if the screw came in, got smashed in, or came in and tried going out as soon as it came in, or went through here, fell down as the piston was going down, came up, smashed into the head, and then went down. The exhaust valve opened up and it kind of tried going over here, ended up bending the valve, and then that sent it back over here, because it looks like it might have hit in two spots. There was that spot right there, and it also looked like it might have hit over here too, because there's threads and it looks like there might be another set of threads over here. So I almost wonder if it hit in two places, but why would it have hit in the same place? And it didn't look like it either in the head, I noticed. So I almost, well, maybe it did hit right there and then hit right there too on the head. I don't know. But maybe it did try going out and then getting stuck back in here, or maybe it didn't do any damage to it when the piston came up and it hit the head. Maybe it just stopped it a little bit, or the piston bent down and bent back up. Because an engine does get hot, and when metal gets hot, it does have a little bit of give to it as it expands. So I wonder if this had a little bit of give to it, so it just went down and came back up and was fine. And then when this came up and got shut off, the engine stopped at top dead center, causing it, as it cooled down, the screw to get into the piston and then into the head, causing it to make that mark and make that mark in the head here and there, and ended up making it stuck. I wonder if that's what happened. But like I said, I wouldn't know unless I was there and I saw it myself when the engine shut off, and even just watched it or listened to it, you would have heard something. Because I'm guessing if that happened, the engine had to have skyrocketed. If one of the butterflies had lost a screw, it had to have skyrocketed up in RPMs, you know, because then the butterfly would open, or air would be getting in through that little passage where the screw goes, right? I think it would. Grab a flathead screwdriver, take this off, then we'll take this carburetor off in those two spots. Leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think happened. That's my guess. I'm guessing it went in there. It had a little bit of play in it, since the piston was hot, and it gave and let that go down and come back up, or even the head might have let it go in and then go back out without causing too much damage, and then the piston was still hot, and then it shut off here at the top of the engine, and then as the motor cooled down, it started to stiffen up and get stuck. That's what I'm wondering if what happened. But once again, without seeing it myself, it's hard to tell what exactly happened, but that's kind of my guess. It's hard to explain it, but I have not started the ultrasonic cleaner up, for those of you guys wondering. I do have another one of these carburetors, however. We might be able to get this guy running again. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see me get this engine running again? Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know what I'd put it on. It wouldn't go on my tractors because it's a vertical engine instead of horizontal. However, we do have that. Well, it could be a parts donor or something. Somebody, if anybody's interested in this engine, let me know. I'm sure we could make some kind of deal on it, or I'll just give it to you. I don't know. I'm sure somebody could use it. I'm not going to scrap it because they don't make these anymore. And it is a little cool little engine to have up on the shelf. I can't tell. I don't think there's a way to get both of us here. Let me move you guys down so we can look at this together. Let's go on ahead and take a look at this carburetor. I'm sure you guys are probably wondering what I'm going to do with this if I get it running. I will probably end up putting it on my mower project I'm thinking of making. I'm thinking of making a brush mower. Right there I can see the choke is open. If I could get this thread out of here, that would be great. I don't really know if I want to take it out or not. I'll probably just leave it. There's the choke. Looks like the butterflies are still there. I can't tell. I'm sure you guys can't tell either. I would say, once we get this carburetor opened up, we ought to take a look inside of that motor. Oh, if we were to get this thing running, we'd have to get a gasket set. Which I'm sure that's not too expensive. Take this jet out of here. What do you guys think? How do you think it's going to look inside? It ran before it was parked, so it shouldn't be too terrible. It looks like it looks okay. It's got some dirt to it. Grab a 1/2-inch wrench. It's either 1/2 inch or 7/16. Okay, cool. I don't know what the adjustments are for this carburetor. Oh, that looks gummy. Let's see. You can smell it. It's got old gas in it, so. Ew. That looks yummy. Take a look at that. Right there's the float. There's the needle and seat, and then there's the float. Main jet. Ew. This thing definitely looks like it needs a bath. Huh. Well, the gasket looks okay. I'm just going to put it back together for right now and put it up on my little bench, on my little shelf over here, just to look at. Maybe rob parts off of it. It's got the same size float bowl as a Kohler carburetor does, so I don't know. We may end up using it on one of them. I'm just going to put it until I don't see, there we go, until I don't see any cleanness. We'll put that up here on the shelf. Let's go on ahead and pull that motor apart and see what it looks like inside. I'm going to assume it's already put together. I know it's put together, but I'm going to assume it's put together loose. All these bolts back here. We'll need a socket, but yeah, I'd say they're loose. We'll pop them out. 1/2 inch. Yep. A little bit tighter together than I thought it was. Looks like somebody had chopped this off. Unless that's how short it should be. Why is there only 3 bolts? Oh, I see. They're all on the outside. Okay. There's some of them on the inside and the rest of them are on the outside, I guess. Huh. No, I want to loosen. Tight. Yeah, you guys can see. Cool. They're a lot tighter than I was expecting them to be, all the bolts. So obviously it's been taken apart since the cam, or since the piston's right there, but I should have popped this in the impact. Why didn't I do that? I can't remember if I loosened this bolt over here or not. Yeah, I did. So if all of them are loose, looks like they all are, this should just lift right off here. I'd hope. Ready? Let's see if it will. Yep. Right there's your governor. So everything there looks to be where it should be. I'm not going to turn that upside down because it's got my bolts in it. I wonder if that gasket's any good. I don't see any metal shavings in here. I guess that's a good sign. Yet again, the oil was dumped. It actually looks, oh, you guys can't see, that's right. I keep forgetting. It actually looks fairly clean in there. As you can see, I expected much worse. Take a look at that. Right there's your governor, that yellow gear. These are your weights. They come out. I'll show you how they work. The way the governor works is it's got these little weights on it. Right here's a little shaft. This is your governor right here. These weights come out. As this spins and it pushes on that, on this right here. As these push on it, that either speeds up or slows down your engine. So that's how it works. It's actually really cool. But it's just these two weights, and they'll move out as this spins. They're spinning also. And I guess the speed of the engine is what moves the weights in and out. And when the engine slows down and this gets sucked in, the spring will pull it open and this will push it shut. So that's how that works. The spring will pull on it, that'll open the throttle more when the weights aren't pushing on it. And when the weights start pushing on it, it closes the throttle until it's to the point where it runs where it should run. I think it's 36,000 RPMs. Should be max throttle on one of these small engines. Now, on the two-stroke engines, they've gone up to about 10,000 RPMs. I think is redline for them, but for these bigger engines, it's not as high as that for them. But that's how your governor works for those of you wondering, and it hooks onto the cam gear on this engine. It's got the gear right here and it goes to the cam gear. So for anybody wondering, that's how it works. How the governor system works. It's not a very complicated thing. And if you need to adjust it, you loosen this right here and you open the throttle up all the way. And then you tighten this down and that's how you adjust your governor. Which this apparently still has the spring on it, seeing that it's fighting me. Yes, it does have the spring on it, so that's cool. You got to make sure you don't move your throttle, keep it in the spot it should be. I moved it though for demonstration, and then there's a little cutout in the back plate of the engine for this to hold that in place. It's really cool the way it works. It also, these little spoons on here, that's what blows the oil around the engine. That's what keeps it lubricated. Camera battery lights flashing. I'm just going to make this a short video. I'm not going to make it a very long video. If you guys want to see more of this engine, let me know. I'm not going to do anything with it unless you guys really want me to. I would do, maybe I'll do a video on it later if I decide to. That bent valve kind of has me wondering about it. If you guys want to see it, I'll get it running. I don't have a problem with getting it running, but the problem is I only have one battery. I do have the other camera, but it doesn't do very well inside the shop. It did okay outside, but let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see videos on snow plowing, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.